Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. Today we're heading to Legacy to check out one of my favorite decks in the format. I really like this deck because it plays on a completely different axis than everything else. In a format where most people are brainstorming and force of willing and comboing, this deck is kind of like a modern or standard deck. It's like, I'm going to ramp a little bit, I'm going to play big, powerful creatures, and hope that that's good enough to win the game. We are talking, of course, about Nic Fit. This build recently took a J-Bone 2016 to a 5-0 finish in a competitive Legacy League, so congrats to J-Bone on their finish with the deck. A quick reminder before we break it all down, if you enjoy this deck and want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a chance at being made into videos next week. So Nic Fit is built around Veteran Explorer, a 1-mana 1/1 that when it dies allows each player to search their library for 2 basic lands and put them into play untapped. So the goal of the deck is to get a Veteran Explorer on the battlefield and then sacrifice it, maybe with Cabal Therapy, that's the most common way, which also lets you kind of thought seize your opponent's hand. You cast the Cabal Therapy, so you get a peek, get to make your best guess on what's in their hand or name the card that's worst for you. Then when you flash it back, sacking the Veteran Explorer, you kind of already know what's in their hand because you just saw it when you cast the Cabal Therapy, and then you get to pick apart whichever card is most problematic or best for your opponent. The backup plan is Phyrexian Tower. You can just tap it to sack a creature and add 2 black mana. So if you can sack your Veteran Explorer, you gain 2 lands in the process. And then the backup ramp is Deathrite Shaman. Also just the Swiss Army knife of 1-drops. Can hate on the graveyard, gain you some life, and ramp you towards your things. Then the deck plays a bunch of basics, obviously, more so than almost any deck in Legacy, because you got to make sure you have those targets to search out with your Veteran Explorer. And then we got Green Sun Zenith, which is a card that kind of holds the deck together. You can, on turn 2, get your Veteran Explorer, get your Deathrite Shaman for some ramping, or you have a whole toolbox of green creatures to search up. So Gaddock Teague shuts down Force of Will, other expensive spells. Eternal Witness gets something back from your graveyard. Scavenging Ooze also hates on the graveyard and gains you a bit of life. Nisaveswood Seer and Tireless Tracker generate card advantage. Then you get to the cards that you don't really expect to see in Legacy. You got Siege Rhino. We all know what that one does. Still popular in Modern. Was the best card in Standard for most of its life. Really big. And one of the sweet things about playing these creatures in Legacy is Legacy decks aren't really built to deal with threats like Siege Rhino. The removal you see in Legacy, discounting Swords to Plowshares, which of course kills anything, is Lightning Bolts and Abrupt Decays. People aren't really playing Maelstrom Pulses and Doom Blades and other spells that can just kill anything. That's not how Legacy works, because almost all the threats in Legacy get hit by Abrupt Decays and get hit by Lightning Bolt. So when you play things like Siege Rhino, decks just can't deal with them in a lot of cases. Speaking of things that you can't deal with, Sigarda is one of the hardest creatures to kill in all of Magic. Pretty much the only way to get it off the battlefield is a Wrath. It shuts down Liliana, shuts down Emrakul's Annihilate ability, Flying Hexproof, and your stuff can't be sacrificed due to opponent's abilities. Thragtusk, another resilient threat, gains you some life, leaves the beast behind, and Dragonlord Dromoka, big and lifelinking, and shuts down your opponent's counterspells. And then there are some finishers that aren't hit by Green Sun Zenith. Got a single Baneslayer Angel, and then a couple of Planeswalkers in Garruk Relentless and Sorin Lord of Innistrad. As far as the rest of the deck, you got some card advantage / filtering in Sensei's Divining Top, Sylvan Library, and then Painful Truce, which of course, since we're a 3-color deck, you can cast X3 pretty easily. And then for removal, you get Swords and Abrupt Decay as targeted removal. Vindicate is targeted removal, but it can hit anything. You can kill land if you want to, Planeswalkers, Jason Mind Sculptor, artifacts, enchantments, and Pernicious Deeds is a Wrath, essentially, that you play from the battlefield, and it kills everything except Planeswalkers, which means you can leave your Sorin Lord of Innistrad or Garruk Relentless behind. As far as the rest of the mana base, discounting the basics that we already talked about, you got a Karakas, Windswept Teeth, Verdant Catacombs as fetches, and some original dual lands for fixing. In the sideboard, you can kind of switch into a Super Friends deck, we just talked about how Pernicious Deed doesn't kill Planeswalkers. That's the one card type or permanent type that doesn't get hit by Pernicious Deed. So you can kind of move away from the creatures and be like this Super Friends Pernicious Deeds ramp control deck post sideboard. And then you get some more removal. Toxic Deluge sweeps away everything. Celestial Purge, Reclamation Sage, and Krosan Grip for artifacts and enchantments. And then a little bit of hate for unfair decks. That's one of the problems with this deck is in the main deck, you don't have that much disruption for decks that are trying to kill you on turn 1 or turn 2. So Ethersworn Canonist and Thoughtseize help there. Surgical Extraction for the graveyard. Carpet of Flowers can add a ton of mana against blue decks. And that is Nic Fit in Legacy. Anyway, that's been our instant deck tech for today. Nic Fit in Legacy. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very, very much for watching. And I will talk to you soon.